Watch Call and Win to be the Couch Critic Wednesday at 5.
Next summer in Atlanta, the greatest spectacle in sports. The Olympic Games return to America on NBC.
This is the NFL on NBC for Week 5 with host Greg Gumbel and co-host Ahmad Rashad.
Only one unbeaten team remains in the AFC. It's the Miami Dolphins, who are on the road today against the Cincinnati Bengals. That means a matchup of father and son as the NFL's winningest coach of all time, Don Shula, faces his son Dave. The second game of our doubleheader is a rematch of last year's AFC Championship. The struggling Pittsburgh Steelers host the surging San Diego Chargers. Hi, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Mike Ditka and Joe Gibbs. Ahmad will be along shortly. You know, every year we seem to talk about the Miami Dolphins off to the terrific start. Joe, are they for real this time around?
Well, I think they're for real. I'm one of the guys that incorrectly picked them last year, and they stumbled over San Diego. But I think what makes them for real, Greg, is some changes they've made in personnel. Eric Green coming in there for Keith Jackson. Also, they're rushing the football, and they're #1 in the AFC versus a rush.
Now, two other teams that were thought to be for real are New England and Pittsburgh. They haven't been yet. What do you expect, Mike?
Well, I think the fans are starting to wonder. I know the two coaches are starting to wonder, and I don't care what people say. This is a must-win game for both of these football teams. If they keep free-falling, they're going to fall right out of the race completely.
All right, gentlemen, we will begin with Miami visiting Cincinnati at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. The Dolphins are one of 3 unbeaten teams in the NFL, along with St. Louis and Dallas. Miami leads the league in points scored, averaging just under 32 a game. And on the other side of the ledger, they have allowed the fewest points, just 9 per game. Tom Hammond and Bob Trumpy have more from Riverfront Stadium. Gentlemen.
All right, Greg, and there are some unexpected reasons for those numbers you just cited. Joe Gibbs touched on them a little bit. The first surprising thing is the running game of the Dolphins.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people around the league, when the Dolphins got Eric Green, said, oh, man, another target. But in the first part of this season, Eric Green has been the blocking back. The running game has allowed the Miami Dolphins to control the line of scrimmage, control the clock. To this point, offensively, they have not needed Dan Marino that much.
The other thing is the toughness of the Miami defense.
Yeah, this really impresses me. For once, the Dolphins have invested some money on the defensive side. They got a free agent from Chicago named Trace Armstrong. They also signed up Steve Entman. They've yet to allow a rushing touchdown in 1995. This is a much stronger, bigger, and deeper defense for the Miami Dolphins.
So, Greg, we didn't need Akeem against Shaq anyway. We've got Shula against Shula here.
All right, gentlemen, thanks. Have a good day today. Certainly one of the central themes this afternoon is Don Shula coaching against his son Dave. It is the second such matchup, with Don and the Dolphins winning last year 23-7. I spoke with both Shulas this week.
He's been coaching either as an assistant or a head coach longer than I've been alive.
Over a period of time, the battles that you've had, you know, the Vince Lombardi, I knew pretty much what Vince was thinking and what he was doing on the other side, and the same thing with Tom Landry and Chuck Noll. Not to put Dave in that class, certainly, but you get to know tendencies and mannerisms of not only a team, but of a coach and the type of decisions that he makes in certain situations.
So you know him like an open book, or what?
Well, I think it's a two-way deal. Whatever I know about him, he knows that much or more about me.
I know their system offensively well. That hasn't changed much over the years, even though I've been gone there now for, I guess, 6 years. Some of their audibles are basically still the same, and I remember during the game here in Marino checking to a lead draw. I knew the numbers. I'm yelling to our team on the field, but it didn't matter. Those guys still got to get off the blocks and make the tackles.
I remember taking him to practices, and he'd be around, and then he started to work in the locker room, picking up socks and jocks and doing all of the things, and then graduated to charting plays on the sideline.
I was able to experience as a youngster things that most kids will never experience in a lifetime.
Is there anything from that game that stuck in your mind?
Oh, I just think that, the support from the family, everybody in one way or another let me know that they were going to be rooting for Dave, all my other kids and, relatives and all that. And but my wife, Mary Ann, stuck with me. So it's going to be pretty much the same thing. It's going to be Mary Ann and I against everybody else in the family.
You said you talked to him today.
I did. We touch base usually every Monday morning and talk about the game and what happened that day or the preceding day. And when it comes time to when we're getting ready to play them, then the conversation, how's the family? You don't talk about football. You want to know how the family is and if everything okay.
Is this just another game? Can you possibly view it as just another football game?
No, I don't even try to view it as another game. I think about it as soon as the schedule comes out, and then the closer it gets to game time, the more and more I anticipate it and look forward to it.
You heard Dave Shula say it. Joe, this can't be just another game to these guys.
Well, I can say this. I've had some of the experiences the Shulas are talking about there. My kids going to camp with me, I'll never forget that. But I also can tell you this. My kids, I didn't get a chance to coach against them, but I can tell you I hated to lose against them, either racquetball, golf, or anything else, so they're going to go after each other.
Speaking of emotions, the Cincinnati Bengals have proven themselves to be an emotional football team, Mike.
Well, they really have. The problem with the Bengals right now, if they can find a way to play defense today, they got a chance to be in this football game, because I'll guarantee you their offense is going to generate some points with Blake.
All right, they had spoke on the phone this week. They had dinner last night. They shook hands on the field earlier today, and they will do battle shortly in Cincinnati. For our other 1 o'clock game, Ahmad.
All right, Greg, the Atlanta Falcons host the New England Patriots at the Georgia Dome. Atlanta is 3-1, although teams they've beaten are combined 1-10. It's a big game for the Patriots, who are 1-2 and really struggling on offense. They'll have to do it today without Drew Bledsoe, who suffered a separated left shoulder 2 weeks ago in San Francisco. Will McDonough has more on Bledsoe.
Thanks, Ahmad. Actually, Drew has been named the emergency or number 3 quarterback here today for the Patriots, and there was some confusion about what that means. So I asked the referee today, Tommy White, what are the rules for Drew now? He said if Drew Bledsoe plays in the first 3 quarters, the first 2 quarterbacks cannot play anymore. However, he can come into the game in the 4th quarter, and all 3 quarterbacks can play. I asked Drew on the field before the game about playing today. He said, I wanted to play, but the 2 doctors and the coach did not want me to play. I said, what if this were a playoff game? He says, I would play, and I will ask them to play next week when we play Denver at home on Sunday night. For more on the starter, Scott Zolak, let's go upstairs to Marv Albert and Cris Collinsworth. Gentlemen?
All right, Will, and it will be Scott Zolak as the starter, making only his 5th NFL start. His last start was back in 1992. In fact, over the last 2 years, he's thrown only 10 passes, although he did have his moments back in 92, leading the Patriots to their only 2 wins in that forgettable season of 2 up and 14 down. Zolak provided a rare bright spot at that time, but he told us today he's feeling the butterflies.
3 years ago, it was more of a nervous situation where I didn't really know what was happening around me. Things happened so quick where you really didn't have time to think about them. You just reacted, and now, I'm older, and it's an anxious thing, and I'm ready to get this game going today.
I think we have to be a little less reliant on the quarterback position than we have early in the season, and we're averaging over 50 passes a game. We're at 50, and it's just not going to work that way.
The de-emphasizing of the quarterback position will continue even after Drew Bledsoe returns. But it's interesting that the comment that seemed to have the greatest impact on Bill Parcells was one that John Robinson, the head coach at USC, passed through a Patriot scout, asking Bill, when is it that Bill Parcells is going to get back to playing Bill Parcells-style football and not throwing it 50 times a game? You could tell Bill was thinking about it yesterday.
And Cris, the Patriots' major concern is Ironhead Haywood, a revitalized Ironhead who has gone for over 100 yards the last 2 weeks, putting the run back in the run and shoot. And the Falcons say that strained left knee is okay, and he will be in the starting lineup. And here at the Georgia Dome, it will be another intimate gathering, some 20,000 short of a sellout. Looks like a studio audience turnout for Ahmad's one-time game show, Caesar's Challenge.
Oh! All right, thanks, Marv. He's still hurting from the fact that I never had him on the show as a guest. But now, most of the optimism in New England was centered around Drew Bledsoe. He's not there today. Can they get it done with Scott Zolak?
Ahmad, during the year, you're going to lose key players. If this is a good football team, we think it is, they'll rally around that loss. I think that this is also a must-win, like Mike said, because I tell you, they started with Cleveland, Miami, San Francisco. Everybody knew that was going to be tough. They're 1-2. They have to win this game. This is one of the ones they should win.
All right, Mike. Surprising, Atlanta 3-1. But for most people who deal with reality realize that they haven't really played anybody.
Yeah, but they don't make the schedule, so all they did was do what they had to do. They went out and won the games, you know, and you got to say why they're winning the games. The run and shoot is not my favorite offense, but they are running the football in the run and shoot, which I think is important. It's helping George. On defense, these guys don't have a great secondary, but they got a good front seven.
All right, when we return, we'll focus on San Diego and Pittsburgh as we hear from Steelers coach Bill Cowher on the bizarre scene at the end of the half last Sunday.
What's amazing about technology?
I think you could run to the store for me.
At GTE, we think it's how it can make your life easier. Like Telego service.
Ice cream?
The world's first cordless phone you can take just about anywhere.
Your pocket's ringing.
Even an all-night grocery store in Tampa, which David King finds pretty...
Do you have any sauerkraut?
Why? Because he won't have to make another trip to the store tonight. Amazing.
Save some hot water. Too late! Honey, turn up the heat.
It is up.
Please let it be him. Let it be him. Please let it be him.
The gas-fueled complete heat system from Lennox.
It's him.
Virtually unlimited hot water and comfortable home heating in one unit. And it runs on economical natural gas, so it's super efficient.
Yes! The Lennox complete heat system. Not just heat, complete heat.
Clean natural gas. Think what you'll save.
There are a lot of good reasons for choosing the quiet company. Some are more important than others. When you have a reason for wanting the most secure life insurance, talk to the quiet company, Northwestern Mutual Life.
When I took the high endurance challenge from Old Spice, I really thought it was going to be a challenge. I mean, this is a challenge. This is a sure thing. It evaporates less quickly. It also lasts longer, protects better. Old Spice guarantees it. Now, if you don't think it's the best, you call 1-800-PROVE-IT and they'll buy you a stick of your old deodorant. So if you're looking for a real challenge, go climb a mountain. If you're looking for the best deodorant, try high endurance from Old Spice. Because now you got proof. Guaranteed.